Hello and welcome to the Week 8 edition, the Gem City Gridiron Roundup podcast. I am your host, Alton Van Peltskotch. On the sidelines with me, I have the commish. How you doing?
I'm doing well. A midday episode, just the way it works out this week. Happy Halloween, everybody.
Happy Halloween.
Yeah, it was a scary week for the top scoring teams.
Yeah, yep. It was, one might even think it was April Fool's Day yesterday.
Yeah, crazy high scoring across the league, like in real life and also in the Gem City. Just a lot of touchdowns scored yesterday.
Yeah, it was really nice to see touchdowns come across the board early for my team, and then that was about it. Anyway, Ravens 27, Buccaneers 22. I was the only one who got that one right this week.
You did.
Lamar Jackson has a nice game. Doesn't get over the 300 passing yards, but that's okay. Gus Edwards with a nice day on the ground, and Kenyon Drake ends up with the most production out of anybody besides Isaiah Likely.
Yep. Big day for the backup tight end. Mark Andrews was banged up coming into the game. He did end up leaving the game with a different injury, a shoulder injury. He came in with a banged up knee, but was full go, but did get hurt in the first half of the game. Isaiah Likely comes out and dominates the second half of the ball game, and the Bucs are just not looking very good. I mean, it's the worst. I believe Tom Brady's worst record through 8 weeks in his career. So that's, and multiple games under 500. That is not how we usually see Tom Brady teams go about the season. So they have some stuff to figure out. I believe they are last in their division right now. And we'll touch on that, the leader of that division, but yeah, just, crazy. Mike Evans is just not catching touchdowns. Godwin's getting volume, no touchdowns. Like they just can't connect. Leonard Fournette, like their run game is awful. They're just getting bailed out with some cheapy touchdowns, but they are not doing very well. And then they just lost Shaq Barrett for torn Achilles the rest of the year. So that's not going to help them moving forward.
Biggest story out of this matchup is Tom Brady lost his number one fan over the weekend. Him and Gisele Bundchen have divorced.
Filed.
They're getting divorced.
Just a crazy turn of events. Maybe he should have just stayed retired.
I think I just you.
What was that?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I don't know what the fuck just happened with my audio. Okay. I got it back.
All right. I heard you the entire time. Yeah, maybe
All
he
right.
should have just retired. Maybe he should have just called it quits, and he just didn't know when to say goodbye. And that's kind of how it goes with some of these high competitive people. They don't want to give it up. And sometimes it's too late. The cliff has fallen. But it's just kind of
still
spiraling
early
down. Yeah, it's spiraling downward for his team and also for his his personal life. So that's not what you'll like to see.
Still too early to tell on the NFC South. Speaking of the NFC South, one of the funniest things I've ever seen happened comes down to the last game that was our last play, back and forth game between the Falcons and Panthers. I just saw bonus coverage of it. That's all I got.
Crazy.
But PJ Walker loads up and fires probably one of the best deep balls all year. At least Patrick Mahomes thinks so.
It was
DJ
sweet.
Yeah, DJ Moore catches the linebacker on double coverage sleeping, goes right past everybody, just reaches his hands out. There's a ball, touchdown. DJ Moore removes his helmet, goes to celebrate, jumps into the Falcons stands, gets a 15-yard penalty, which, as you know, in the NFL, you can either choose to make that on the extra point or the ensuing kickoff. They chose the extra point. Obviously, it turns into a 48-yard extra point, which goes wide
left.
I couldn't remember which direction.
Yeah,
so
wide left.
Wide left.
Yeah, because he missed another one in overtime. Wide left.
Oh, he missed another one in overtime?
Yeah, had a chance to win it.
Had a chance.
Panthers had a chance to win the game in overtime, and they got down
Eddie
like a
Pinheiro?
30. Eddie Pinheiro missed another one to the left, and as soon as he kicked it, hands on his head, yelling, "Fuck!" Yeah, just a terrible way.
Younghoe Koo finishes it off 37-34.
We have the Kyle Pitts sighting finally, 5 for 80 and a tutty. But Tyler Algier looked pretty good. They do want to run the ball. Cordell Patterson should be back in the next week or two. So we'll wait and see how that kind of changes. But the Falcons at 4-4 are leading the AFC South. Marcus Mariota is here to stay for a while. No reason to bench him now.
Nobody gives up more rushing point or running back points in the NFL than the Falcons. Deontay Foreman, 26 carries, 118 yards, and 3 tutties.
One of the, I believe it was 6 players. Let me double check. I have it on my phone. One of the 5 or 6 players to score 3 touchdowns in a game this week.
There were a lot. AJ Brown.
I have. Yep, I have
McCaffrey.
it. Right.
Does his count?
Yeah, it's three total touchdowns. No, I'm not counting any quarterback touchdowns. I'm just talking about position players. We have CMC, Foreman, Kamara, Pollard, AJ Brown. 5 position players with 3 total touchdowns. Just absolutely crazy.
Pollard's touchdowns were super nasty.
Yeah.
Might as well go to that game. Cowboys 49, Bears 29. It just seemed like it was too easy to score points this entire game. Big plays coming in the first half. Dak was dialing it up. They end up going into halftime 28-14. Dak throws a interception, and then the Bears march down, get a field goal or get another touchdown. No, it was 28-17. Sorry, at halftime to get another field goal. It probably should have been 35-14 going into halftime. Just Dallas with that error there. Yeah, the Bears were starting to look like they were going to form a comeback, and then Micah Parsons gets the scoop and score. Justin Fields hops over Parsons when all he had to do was tap him on the shoulder, and it would have been done. Tap. Dak looked way better this week. Tony Pollard was absolute monster. CeeDee Lamb with the beautiful seam route for a touchdown. Khalil Herbert and David Montgomery with decent days. Khalil Herbert does get the touchdown. Had a Darnell Mooney sighting, 12 points, not bad. And Cole Kmet got in the end zone.
First touchdown since 2020.
Yep.
He was in college.
It was a fun game to watch. I'll say that.
A lot of fun games overall this entire weekend. Dallas and Chicago, one of them. Dak looked better after, second game back, kind of back in the full swing of things. Jerry Jones came out today that Zeke is the running back one, so there is no running back controversy. It is still Ezekiel Elliott's backfield when he gets back. It was 60, smart 40. For them. Yeah, I mean, he's the RB1, but it's smart for them. They have the bye week next week. Let Zeke, get essentially 2 weeks off of that with not missing much playing against a weak Bears team.
Commanders 17, Colts 16. I know nothing about this game.
You really don't want to know. It was Sam Ehlinger versus Taylor Heineke. Very low scoring effort. Not a lot going on.
Goes off again.
Terry McLaurin catches a deep touchdown.
No touchdown.
No touchdown. Oh, it was a big play to ice the game, I believe. But just a very slow game. Not one you really wanted to watch. Not a whole lot of highlights. I believe the game-winning touchdown was the Taylor Heineke QB sneak. Just something that you really don't want to watch.
Brian Robinson was absolutely ineffective.
All the running backs
led the way for Antonio Gibson to catch 7 balls for 58 yards and a touchdown.
Let me note this. Antonio Gibson is the new J.D. McKissic.
Yeah.
J.D. McKissic is irrelevant now.
Had 5 targets in this game, but only caught 3 of them for 14 yards.
Yeah, they're putting him on the field specifically in passing down situations. I believe now that he is earned himself in the conversation of, a running back 3 if you need him, flex play.
Ehlinger and Jonathan Taylor with lost fumbles. Taylor had 0 targets out of the backfield. Ehlinger spread the ball around pretty well for the looks of it. But not to Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah, just a slow game. Something low total.
One of the few this week.
Mhm.
Miami, Detroit.
Fireworks.
I thought Detroit had a chance to win this one. I did hear Tua's voice for the first time, which does not sound like this uber confident guy in interviews.
Yeah.
31-27 Miami. Looks like Tyreek Hill went off, and Jalen Waddle with a nice day gets the 2 touchdowns that really pads his stat line. Tua's just pretty dialed in right now. That offense is it's something.
You had that was one of the bets. You had Miami -3. They won by 4, so you covered there.
Yep.
Good bet. Good close game. Tyreek Hill just going crazy. The Lions were moving the ball too. Jamal Williams, he gets 2 touchdowns. DeAndre Swift, welcome back. He gets 1 more. But they are missing that out. They are missing that wide receiver presence. Amon-Ra St. Brown was back. Not as dominant, but they need some weapons. Obviously, DJ Chark is on IR. TJ Hawkinson is kind of So, but they are functioning specifically through the run, but they're just effective enough through the air to make games real fun.
Yeah. It was 2 touchdowns for Jamal Williams, like you said, and there was a really nice angle route out of the backfield in the red zone for DeAndre Swift for a touchdown. He saw limited work. He has not played in quite a few weeks. So, Moving on. Tennessee 17, Houston 10. It was the Malik Willis game. Ryan Tannehill, a late scratch with an ankle injury, I believe.
Was
still not enough room for the Texans to win. Derrick Henry goes off.
Does Derrick Henry ties against the Texans?
He ties the all-time record for most 200-yard rushing games. And that was basically the entire offensive model of the Titans. Even Dontrell Hilliard got in there for 83 yards on 8 carries. I don't know, man. Texans just couldn't keep up.
Yeah, that was, they just turned it around and handed it off. Did not have Malik Willis do much in his first NFL game action. That was my lock of the week. I had Tennessee -2. That was an easy lock.
Vikings moved to 6-1 over the Cardinals, 34-26, another high scoring game. I believe this one came down to the wire.
It did, because that's how the Cardinals functioned.
Right. DeAndre Hopkins, he is back and healthy, and Rondale Moore gets worked in there too. Rondale Moore in a bit of a package that isn't normal for him, I would say. He had more than his long was 33 instead of 3.
Yeah, they did put him in the slot a little bit. They kind of moved him around. AJ Green and Robbie Anderson taking the split snaps on the other side of the field that allowed Rondale Moore to kind of find some open space. That 133-yarder, it was only like a 10-yard catch, and then he broke a tackle and took it to the house.
Zach Ertz with another nice day. I believe he's still tight end 3, which is nice. It's nice when you get one right. Dalvin Cook with a very,
he's
very
tight end
nice
3. I think he's probably top 5.
He was tight end 3 the last time I looked.
Well, there's a guy named Tyler Conklin. I think that's actually tight end 3, but I'll check.
Stop.
Conklin's been good, man.
Rank 3 going into this week.
Okay, that's different. It's after this week now.
I don't know where he's at right now.
Okay, continue.
All right. I'm sure this was an entertaining game. I didn't see any of it. Shocker. New Orleans 24, Las Vegas 0. How is it possible that Derek Carr could not get into the end zone? Jared Stidham was in, so.
Yeah, they pulled him after a while. It was a blowout. Devontae Adams missed a lot of practice this week. Flu symptoms, did not play well. They kind of held up Josh Jacobs. Darren Waller still out. Yeah, just kind of a lackluster effort, going across country. It was in New Orleans, I believe. And the Saints just took him to the woodshed.
Yeah. Andy Dalton just said, I think I want to be the starter.
Yep. He did take over.
Because it was supposed to be Jameis this week, was it not?
It was, and then essentially he's been benched.
Ooh, rough.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like Saints will be drafting a quarterback next year, probably. Patriots
Most likely.
22, Jets 17. The Jets, the surprise success story so far in this first half of the season. Mac Jones gets back in there. Did not have a Bailey Zappi style game, but did just enough.
The Jets were actually had control of the game for the majority of it till the very back end, and then Bill Belichick dialed up the defense and kind of took advantage of the inexperience of Zach Wilson.
Lots of kicks.
Yep. Elijah Moore was supposedly back, but did not show up in the box score, 1 target. Garrett Wilson is the main target, along with Tyler Conklin. So yeah, very weird. It looks like Conklin is tight end. I don't know where that's at. 5. It's having a hard time updating. I'm trying to do all of it, but
anyway, you can look that up while I move on to the next game. The Steelers are only 3 losses away from a losing season. Philadelphia 35. They look like the real deal. I was very wrong on the Eagles, whereas I was very right on the Steelers.
Yes, the over under on I have everything pulled up. Eagles under over was 9.5,
and they're already at 7.
Yeah, I hit the
Safe
over.
to say that's probably going to hit.
Yeah.
Najee Harris, really bad. Let me see if
Start
I
with
can
the
find
offensive
this
line.
meme.
They're bad. The O line is terrible.
I'm gonna see if I can find this meme while we continue with this one. AJ Brown just makes everyone look silly.
3 tutties. Do you see his taunting penalty?
Yeah, did he get called for it? I saw the
Yeah.
touchdown. There was a
I
game
believe
break
it
on
was.
the Dallas
I
game.
can't remember if it was after his second touchdown or third touchdown. His first touchdown he caught in double coverage, and then either his second or third one he caught in double coverage too. And both defenders are laying on the ground, and he points at one of them, and it's like, "That's 1, that's 2," and then just like, oh, it's so funny. And then they call him for taunting. But
Najee Harris this season, according to NFL memes, fewer rushing yards than Daniel Jones, fewer rushing touchdowns than Braxton Berrios, fewer receiving yards than fullback Kyle Juszczyk, who's been injured for the last 3 weeks, and lowest yards per carry in the NFL. Okay. Lowest yards per carry in the NFL.
They're bad. I told you going into the season, they're bad.
Chase Claypool with the completion for a 1-yard touchdown.
Derek Watt.
I feel like I need to find that highlight.
It was like a jet sweep to the left side of the field, and then he throws it with his left hand. I guess he's left-handed. Yep, crazy.
San Francisco 31, LA Rams 14. I watched the first quarter of this and then changed to watching movies because I'd already watched 2 NFL games that day and I was kind of over it. But what happened?
Well, the Rams are terrible, and there's no way around it except Cooper Kupp. They're just terrible. And then the 49ers just have their number. Jimmy G is undefeated against Sean McVay.
I thought they beat him was that not Jimmy G in the playoffs?
Maybe I'm thinking regular season. It must be regular season. But Christian McCaffrey gets the trifecta of the touchdowns, throws a 34-yard touchdown to Brandon Ayuk, runs in a touchdown, and that receiving touchdown was sick in the back of the end zone. They are going to feature him, and it looks fantastic. That's the ceiling you want for Christian McCaffrey. Puts up 40, one of 2 players to put up 40 this week. The other was Kamara. Obviously, we didn't really touch on Kamara, but he did have 3 touchdowns as well. That's what they're going to feed McCaffrey, and that is fun to watch him in that offense.
Seahawks 27, Giants 13. Geno Smith did it again.
Yeah, game should have been closer than what it it wasn't the box score. Richie James from the Giants fumbled twice on the punt returns, which led to 10 or 14 points in turnovers, and 2 less possessions for the Giants. So game should have been a little closer. Nothing else to say about that. DK Metcalf surprisingly played, puts up a decent day, catches the touchdown.
So did Tyler Lockett.
And Ken Walker. He gets finds the end zone yet again.
The other game that I wasted my time on yesterday, the Broncos and Jaguars. It looked like the Jaguars were just going to blow out the Broncos in the first half. They looked so much better. Trevor Lawrence throws an interception on like the 3-yard line into the end zone. He throws the interception. And then it's like they could not find their footing, except for Travis Etienne. The dude, every time he touched the ball, he ran for 9 yards. I don't know what the hell happened, but he is so fast in short bursts that the Broncos, even though they have an exceptional defense, could not stop him.
Yep. With the James Robinson trade, I'm not sure if we touched on that last week, but it leaves that entire backfield to Travis Etienne. Sprinkle in some Jermichael Hasty and some Snoop Connor, but it's Travis Etienne's backfield, and he's showing what he can do with the workload by himself.
Yeah.
Denver was your lock of the week, by the way.
They did not deserve to win.
No. Actually,
Jacksonville was my lock of the week.
Oh, Jacksonville. Sorry. Yep. Jacksonville -3.
Yeah. I lost that one.
Yeah.
Broncos did not deserve to win that game.
They never deserve to win the game. Oh man. Did you hear all the Russell Wilson talk that he was doing like high knees on the plane and doing calisthenics up and down the aisle for 4 hours on the plane?
I was wondering what that meme was. I didn't understand it.
Yeah, he was oh man, doing high knees and different stretches, and oh man. It's weird.
And the final game, besides the Monday night game, which obviously has not happened yet, somehow I pulled out a sweep of the spreads this week. The Packers at the very end, garbage time.
No, you had the Bills -10.5.
That was you.
Cody
Packers, Zach's Bills, Dalton Packers.
See, I had I'll go back and rewatch it. I had Sackett and I for the Packers. I'll go back and rewatch it. I will update.
Yeah, rewatch it.
I will. I'll watch the last 5 minutes of the episode.
I was drinking. You can't trust anything I say.
That's why I was trying to type everything the day of. So
I type it out. I type it out right after we make the bet. Like I'm sitting here as you say it and put it in my notes app.
Yeah,
since week 4.
All right. Well, we will wait and see on that bet.
I believe I swept you for once, but we shall see.
But I got a lock of the week, so no clean sweep.
You did get a lock of the week?
Yep, Tennessee -2.
Oh yeah, that ended up paying off. That was the only one.
Yep. Well, either depending if I'm right, the running total is Zach 12-11. If Dalton is right, it is 11-11. No,
which is
nice. No, it would flip. You would have 12. And I would have
all
11.
right. Packers Bills. I did not watch this game either. I was footballed out. Stephon Diggs had a nice battle, from what I understand, with the corners.
Yeah, I didn't watch any of the game. I was done.
All right.
I was done watching games. I had a lot of stuff to get done.
You left Romeo Dubes on the bench. That's what I can see about this.
That is fine by me. After he put up a goose egg, you got to see it for a week.
16.2 points.
Yeah. Hey, I left points on the bench and I scored 184 points. So that is A-OK with the commish over here.
Tonight is Cincinnati at Cleveland. Cincy is a -3.5 favorite. I don't see the Browns beating them, but the Bengals are not, as everyone was pretty hyped about them. They're not that, but
yeah, the big thing about that is no Jamar Chase. We lost
for
Jamar
4
Chase.
to 6 weeks, I believe.
Give or take, they're not putting them on IR, so we're trying to wait and see. I think this is a big Joe Mixon game. I think they're going to run Joe Mixon into the dirt.
This is a Joe Mixon versus Nick Chubb game.
Yeah, I think so. It could be one of those slow games like 21-13 and just ground and pound. Yeah.
Matchups that mattered. I lost. I'm now
lost.
sitting at 3-5. Daryl Henderson is terrible.
You're welcome.
But Zeke,
I no problem trading him. Have him.
Zeke got scratched. I really didn't have any faith in Tyler Algier in this matchup. Supposedly on paper, it was a tough matchup for running backs. He does chip in 2 solid efforts in a row. Watch me start him next week and he scores 4 points. That's how the cookie crumbles. I believe, will be sitting in a playoff spot no matter what happens. I think
you would drop to 3-5,
but
Blaster goes to 3-5.
Yeah, I'm still pretty solid in the playoffs.
Blaster is going to be the lowest scoring winning team, and he's going to still project to score about 130 plus points.
Yeah,
that's the lowest scoring winner. All the other winners are going crazy.
Patrick is going to score somewhere in the 170s.
Yep, projected 170.
He will beat Heath, knocking Heath down to 4-4, but really that doesn't change him in the playoff. It just separates the top from the bottom playoff wise.
Patrick is creeping up after starting 0-6 and losing some close games. He is now 2-6. Imagine if he could have squeaked that one out against Luke, he'd be 3-5, and
he'd still be in it.
He'd be right there.
All that talk about last week about how him and Lean were eliminated, and now Patrick sits at 2-6, only 1 game off of like 4 people that are in playoff spots because of how rough this year has been.
He does have the 4 stud running backs. Sanders put up a so decent game, but Ramondre Stevenson, Dalvin Cook, Donta Foreman. Donta Foreman gets that 31.8 from the 3 tutties. Big game from Jalen Waddle too. He's just kind of had some
huge points on his bench.
Wow, DJ Moore. Yeah. It's tough to trust him. To trust him. So I don't know where you would have fit him in. Like you're not playing him over Higgins or Waddle. So he played the right guys.
Sackett wins his 5th in a row, knocking Stewart down to 6-2. It doesn't matter what happens tonight unless Amari Cooper and Tyler Boyd outscore Joe Burrow by 70.
Yeah, Sackett just keeps putting up 170, which is scary because he doesn't have Debo or Jamar Chase in his lineup right now. But that's what happens when you get 3 guys score 30. You're going to put up a big day. Everyone else was kind of mediocre, average at best. With Pollard, Hopkins, and Hill, doesn't take much else. We'll see what his team does over the next couple of weeks with the injuries that he has.
Very, very, very tight game. Lucas is up by less than a point against Drew. It does look like Luke will fall for the first time this year.
Yep. McPherson has to outscore Chubb.
Stone,
Not going to happen.
It's possible.
Yeah, Chubb would have to have an injury most likely.
The Browns are now open to trading Kareem Hunt, apparently.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I did see that.
Yep. Yeah, we'll talk about some trades at the very end of this real fast that we can touch on quickly. But yeah, it looks like Luke is going to drop most likely to 7-1, and Drew can climb to 4-4.
And then Lean gets a win, 152 to Garrett Brinkman. Brinkman, Lean, and Patrick are all now tied for 2-6. I don't know who has the tiebreaker, but Lean just got himself a tiebreaker.
Yeah. And I look at his lineup and I'm like, how the hell do you come up with this conclusion? And it's only because you carry 2 kickers and 2 defenses and multiple quarterbacks and multiple people out on bye or on injury. You play both the Detroit Lions running backs.
It pays off.
And Garrett Wilson and Tyler Conklin. Like oh my gosh.
It worked.
Like it's just absolutely.
He's got Taysom Hill and the flex.
Oh my God.
152 points. I bet you that his team right there, that is you're winning money on DraftKings.
No, DraftKings scoring this week was absolutely bananas this week. The highest score was like 270. Like, because there were so many people that went off. Tyler Conklin was in the $1 million lineup along with Garrett Wilson. He did have those two, but absolutely incredible. I am. It makes me puke.
Speaking of incredible, you outscored Cole by 104 points.
He's still got one guy to go tonight, so I won't hit that 100 mark unless Kareem Hunt doesn't play. Yeah. As soon as Travis Etienne went off in the morning and then AJ Brown caught his third touchdown, I didn't even look at the score. I knew I was going to win. And then Kyle Pitts caught a touchdown. I'm like, it's meant to be. I'm going to score a lot of points. And then obviously McCaffrey goes crazy in the late window as well. I have two guys that score 3 touchdowns. You're going to put up a big day. And I left guys on the bench. So that's all right. Not a big deal. Then I knew I was playing with fire, playing 2 Falcons, but I said, screw it. I am not going to trust Romeo Dobbs. And I'm not playing Latavius Murray. So yeah, I'm very happy with my 184.7 points. Really glad I was able to get that done. Yeah, now I'll be 6-2 and
really separated.
Yep. I'll have tied Brinkman. And Brinkman still has a tiebreaker against me. So he'll still be first in that division. A quick division update.
Tomato.
Let me pull it up. It's in my Google Docs. Just gotta switch files. Sorry. There's only 2 teams undefeated in outer conference play, and that is Sackett, who is 3-0, and myself 3-0. So one team from each division is running the table. Sackett and I do not play until week 10. So we'll see how that goes. So week 6 was Tomato 4-2. And then week 7 was Tomato 4-2. And then week 8 had the flippening Tomato 4-2. So a running total is Tomato 10 wins to Tomatoes 8. So say that 10
Pretty
times
tight.
fast. Tomato 10, Tomato 8. No.
Tomato
yes.
10, tomato 8.
Tomato. Yeah. Yep. Tomatoes in the lead, 10-8. I'll just say that.
Speaking of tomato, tomorrow is week 9.
Yes.
I have dark horse Garrett Brinkman. He is currently projected to beat me. It is the dreaded Dallas bye week.
Dine and Ditch Bowl?
Oh yeah, it is the Dine and Ditch Bowl. I have a lot of issues on my team currently, which I will be solving by picking up a quarterback off the waiver wire. And I think I will be okay after that, besides the fact that I'm starting Darrell Henderson and Tyler Algier. I'm pretty sure it might be Michael Carter, but Michael Carter's got a terrible matchup. It's if you had a Madden team of my team next week, you probably would go like 6-11.
Yeah, your team's not looking very sharp there, Dalton. Darrell Henderson, bad. Algier, Mooney, oh man. Devonta Smith,
Josh Palmer.
Houston.
Josh Palmer next week, firing him up.
Yep. You got on that early. He was a guy.
Yeah, I picked him up. Yeah.
I was going to pick him up. I dropped him last week. I needed a spot, and then I
really like DeAndre Carter, but Josh Palmer is a way better option.
Yeah. So, that's going to be tough for you. We'll wait and see what happens with Dark Horse's team. Gus Edwards looking like he's going to miss next week at least. He has a couple other options. Hopefully he'll get James Conner back, but we'll have to wait and see how that goes.
You get Heath,
Uh-huh.
who is, I don't know if he is still. No, he just lost.
Yep, he's gonna miss a few guys, some Broncos and some Giants. He's gonna be missing Mike Williams, obviously. I will. I'm without Christian McCaffrey next week. So at least I
Look
still
for
have
him
Travis
to
Etienne
go way off
the next week.
the week after the bye
Yeah.
week. Yeah.
Yeah, crazy.
As if 40 points wasn't enough.
I know. But yeah,
s-
projected. I got to roll out my new toys next week, so that'll be fun. I'm projected to beat him at the moment, but never know.
Your brother plays Stuart Brinkman. That is a huge matchup for the top of the table.
Luke has some horrendous bye week issues.
Yes, he currently does not have a tight end on his roster. He'll
Mhm.
solve that, I'm sure.
But that's kind of I was hoping this was going to be, an undefeated matchup going into it, but now that Stewart's lost 2 in a row and Luke lost this week, yeah.
Drew has a chance to really push himself forward in the playoff bracket next week, taking on Lean. Lean coming off 152 points. We'll see how that goes. The
He will
two
not
Codys,
score 156 again.
the two Codys duke it out. Playoff implications in that one as well.
And it looks like Sackett has some issues. Pollard, Sutton, Schultz. Obviously, Debo's out and on a bye. Chase is out. He'll figure it out, and he always does. But he's going to be missing some key pieces next week as well.
Speaking of missing key pieces, it looks like Cole is going to be starting a combination of Eno Benjamin and James Robinson at running back.
Oh, yeah.
Currently, that's what his team is shaped as. He also needs a kicker. So
he should be getting Keenan Allen back, so that'll help. Cole
Yeah.
is kind of on the slide right now. He'll be 4-4. As long as Patrick can keep winning.
This could be a
It's gonna be a tie turner.
Yep. Although he
Keep
will be
continuing.
without a quarter. Oh no, he's got Tom Brady.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Bets.
Yes,
It is your week.
it is. And since we kind of did this podcast on a last second whim, I have not really looked yet.
That's okay. We normally just do this on the fly anyway.
Yep. All right. Locks of the week.
Horribly underprepared. That is our theme.
Always.
The Lakers finally got a win. Started their season 0-4.
All right. My lock of the week. I think it's going to be a big bounce back. I will take the Raiders -1.
Interesting. Against
Bounce back game. I know they're going back
Jaguars.
there. I know they're going back cross country, but I think they're gonna get their poop in a groove, and take advantage of. Jacksonville's not bad by any means, but I think Carr and Adams. I think Waller's gonna be back next week. I think they're gonna kind of get back. Haven't really been back on track all year, but I think they're a better team. So that'll be my lock of the week -1.
Give me the Ravens -3.
Ravens -3.
Where do you see them draft this?
-2.5.
Perfect. I like that even better.
Okay, that's fine. All right. A lot of big
Rashad Bateman to miss multiple weeks.
Yep, I
News
saw
just
that.
broke on that.
Yep. All right. So my week to make the bets, and you get to go first.
Minus
A lot of big
13 on
spread.
Thursday night. Oh my God.
I know. I have 1, 2, 3 double-digit spreads.
Yeah, humongous spreads.
Humongous spreads. You get to pick first. Let's see here. All right, we'll go back to the well. Green Bay is 3-point favorites at Detroit.
3-point favorite at Detroit.
Yep. Your pick.
Give me the Lions.
Okay, I'll take the Packers.
I feel like that was a setup.
Yeah, it was. All right.
Three's not very many.
No, it's not.
Oh, I'll take it. I'm still fine with it.
All right.
I took the Lions this week betting wise. They have to win one. This would it'd just be so funny if the Packers just keep reeling.
I know. The next bet, I will take the Chargers -3 against the Falcons.
Okay, give me the Falcons +3. The Falcons have only not covered one time.
Yep, that is
Which
true.
was 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago. I'll take the
You've
team
got-
going off the bye.
Chargers -3.
Yes. And finally, God, I almost want to just do one of these big spreads just because it's fun.
I thought you were going
Um,
to do all three of the big
I
spreads.
know I almost wanted to, but I either way is very tough. I almost like the plus on all the big spreads anyway. And your final one. Oh, let's go. How about it's your choice? We'll see if you can bait me into this one. Arizona is 2-point favorites at home against Seattle. Your choice.
Yeah, I want Seattle.
Okay, I'll take Arizona.
And that is the end.